the Commanders tomorrow, looking to build on their blowout win over the Las Vegas Raiders last week. That victory snapped a 3-game losing streak, and it was the first time Philly put up at least 30 points since Week 8 against the Giants. Former Giant Saquon Barkley is encouraged by the Eagles' recent play. Take a listen.
I think we're super close, and that's important. I think everyone gets caught up in, how well teams are playing in the first 5 games in the first half of the season. None of that matters. Obviously, it does matter because you got to give yourself a chance to compete for the playoffs and compete to win your division. But if you look at some of those teams that were the guys or the teams halfway through the year, they're falling off. It's a long season. It's hard. And everything that we want is still out in front of us, and we can finish the season the way we want to. And that goes into what I was saying to him is continue to keep the mentality that we had and continue to buy in and make plays and continue to win games.
Cam Newton, after what you saw last week, how close do you think the Eagles are to reaching their true potential?
They ain't close. They played the league's worst team, and that's what you're supposed to do. And, Ryan Terry, Peter Leonardo, I got one for you, Harry. Harry Huxtable Douglas. You know what I'm saying? You look nice with your little suit on.
Well, I don't think that's a good one right now.
Like you ready to take pictures.
There's also nobody on the show named Peter. There's 0 people on the show named Peter.
Listen, the point is this. I don't want to hear Saquon Barkley talk about the woes in Philadelphia. If you want to hear something, put the camera in front of A.J. Brown, because A.J. Brown gonna tell us the truth, the gospel. He was telling us everything we knew and we needed to know in Philadelphia before it even happened. And he was being painted as the villain. Oh, he's a distraction. Why would we pay attention to him? He's just mad that he's not getting any catches. But if you're coming off a game that you played the teams or the league's worst team, a homecoming game, as we obviously know that to be, why would we believe that the Philadelphia issues are fixed all of a sudden? So at the end of the day, I'm looking at a dynamic to say like, hey, I need to see way more people. Hey, we don't believe you. We need more people. And in that type of dynamic, Philadelphia is a team that still has a lot to prove, not only to the world, but to themselves as well.
Yeah, they have not proven that the woes are fixed offensively. They went against a team that's equivalent to the neighborhood jump-off back in the day. They beat the Raiders. They played the Raiders. So, no, I'm not happy. No, I'm not happy that they were able to have success versus the Las Vegas Raiders. But here's what I do know about the Eagles, right? From an identity standpoint, Jalen Hurts needs to be under center. They also need to rush the football. And in 6 games, they're 1-5 in games where Jalen Hurts has 30 or more pass attempts. They can't live in that world. Even though the offense looked dysfunctional at times, they have to still allow their offense to be through the run game. It can't be passing the football 30-plus times because the proof is in the pudding. That's when they lose games, turnovers happens, and you see all kind of things go on as well, too.
This offense isn't close until consistency is near. It's not about can A.J. Brown, who's one of the league's best, make plays. Can Jalen Hurts, who's a Super Bowl MVP, make plays? Can Saquon Barkley, who's been a 2,000 yards in a year rusher, make plays? We know individually you can make plays if called upon. But can this offense be successful consistently, right? Can there be a constant that we can lean on? And we haven't seen that. I think y'all can remember back to Minnesota and New York. Jalen Hurts throws for over 300 yards against the Minnesota Vikings. Quarterback under center, play action pass, Devontae Smith going deep, finishing with A.J. Brown in the seam. It felt good that week. We said, oh, Philadelphia's fixed. The next week you play the New York Giants, and we saw old last year Saquon Barkley getting space in the open field, big runs. Oh, they're fixed. But we just came off of a stretch where they were turning the football over like it was Halloween and they were giving out treats. God bless you, Cam. Right? And now what we saw, though, against Los Angeles, the run game got going. You play the Raiders and you feel like the pass game and the run game are going together. Now you get an opportunity against the Commanders, who aren't great on defense as well, and you get to continue that. So it's not that the offense is where it needs to be. It's headed where it needs to be. Cameron, Willy Wonka.
Wildly inconsistent for a team that's hoping to string together a minimum or maximum, I should say, of 4 quality games against quality opposition if they want to repeat as Super Bowl champions. The college football playoff kicks off 10.
From that standpoint. Boy, the Eagles are dead. But I can't read, and I'll say the same thing this weekend against Washington. Commanders will be competitive, sure, but I'll say the same thing. Let them go win in Buffalo in 2 weeks. Bills will need the game. Let them go win the game up in the snow in Orchard Park before I believe that the Eagles are back on the right track.
Felt like a get-right game. Go ahead, Stephen A.
I completely agree with Doggy. I'm of the mindset I don't want to hear anything about the Eagles and overcoming their doldrums and their offensive woes until they go up against Buffalo. Am I supposed to sit up there and be concerned about them against the Commanders coming up and Marcus Mariota or whomever the hell is quarterbacking for them? Am I supposed to be concerned about that? I mean, Jaden Daniels is sitting down for the season. He's out for the rest of the year. We ain't thinking about Washington right now. Come on now, let's stop that nonsense. And the Raiders, awful. Just awful. I mean, it's so bad. You know what? They talk about, you know what? Whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. You got people in the football world offended because we know what the hell is happening outside of Vegas to the Las Vegas Raiders. We don't want to know about them. They're letting us in on how awful they are. Pete Carroll's not going to survive. He's not the right coach. He's the oldest coach in the National Football League. He's approaching 75 years of age, and there does come a time, we're not engaging in ageism here, but there does come a time when your time is up. And I think with Pete Carroll, that definitely is the case. And we can't take anything seriously about the Las Vegas Raiders at this particular juncture. The Philadelphia Eagles turned over the ball a league high 9 times over the previous 3 games during their 3-game skid. We all know that they didn't turn the ball over the other night, okay? They had like 27 first downs. They ran the football efficiently when they hadn't been doing that at all. We know what time it is. They were going up against a team. They basically had a bye week. The only difference between a bye week and playing the Raiders is that actual tackling is involved. That's the only reason. Other than that, it's a bye week going up against them because that's how awful they are, okay? So we'll find out, and we don't expect much against the Commanders either because of how debilitated they are, even though they'll probably be highly more competitive than the Raiders. The real test is going to be against Buffalo, who's still trying to position themselves potentially for a division crown and definitely is trying to work their way into the playoff picture, obviously. And they're going to treat the game with the importance that it deserves. How the Eagles fare against them is going to tell us a lot more than anything we're talking about at this particular moment in time in the immediate aftermath of a win against the useless Raiders.
I actually would argue that the Commanders would be a good litmus test. Like, their 3 losses were to 3 good teams, right? In the Chargers, Bears, and the Cowboys. And obviously the second half wasn't good. But the Raiders, I mean, come on.
I get it.
Come on.
I get it. I also have been in these chairs where they lost to the Cardinals 2 years ago at home in a similar game when they were 12 points favorites, and we came out and said the world is melting, and we let off the A block with it, and the NBA Cup took a back seat to what's wrong with the Eagles.
Good comparison.
It's fair, and I'd say this. For at least a few days, they can breathe. Because the last month there has been a pressure cooker. And that WIP local radio station, they were talking about sarcastically giving the offense a standing ovation no matter what because they needed the positivity. Yeah. They can't, there's no fangs to that anymore. And I don't even know if they do need to win that Buffalo game or even play well in that Buffalo game. To me, the playoffs are all that matter. You're defending champs. Buffalo's playing for everything. Eagles, looks like the NFC East is theirs.
Well, the Eagles are going to be playing that second road game on the road. They're going to be the 3 seed in the NFC. Yeah.
And also, there was 30 plays that the Eagles ran with Jalen Hurts under center. That's the most they did against anybody this season. So what does that tell you? What that tells you is that they used the Raiders as an experimentation. You understand? That's what they did. Now, let's experiment here. Let's try this. Let's try. If it'll work against, if it'll work against anybody, it'll work against them. So that'll tell us something. Let's practice here. They used it as a practice game, okay? That's what they did, and that's what